We descend, feel love, we defy, we defy, we defy, we defy.
Hello and welcome to Russ Plays Games. My name is Russ, and as you can see from my screen here, we are actually going to be starting a brand new Let's Play of Final Fantasy III, aka Final Fantasy VI. I remember playing this game a long time ago. A buddy of mine, when it first came out, called me up and said, "Hey man, we're gonna play this, and we're gonna play it together." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah, this is gonna be fun." And so this has some of the most iconic music in all of Final Fantasy. I mean, this is probably some of my favorite music in the whole series. I mean, even though Final Fantasy IV is my favorite game, Final Fantasy VI is up there too. It's in my top 3 or 4. And, you know, I still love the original game. I love Final Fantasy IX. Long ago, the War of the Magi reduced the world to a scorched wasteland, and magic simply ceased to exist. Get my epic voice going. 1,000 years have passed. Iron, gunpowder, and steam engines have been rediscovered, and high technology reigns. But there are some who would enslave the world by reviving the dread destructive force known as magic. I'll get back to what I was saying here in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is a brand new ROM, brand spanking new, so there's nothing on it. So this is what happens when you press A. Can it be that those in power are on the verge of repeating a senseless and deadly mistake? Why, yes. Yes, they are. Alright, so yeah, a friend of mine found out that this was 2 players, and I'll show you that option once we get there. But yeah, this game is definitely in my top 4, and it's right up there with everything that I love about Final Fantasy. There's the town. Hard to believe an Esper's been found intact there, 1,000 years after the War of the Magi. Think it's still alive? Probably, judging from the urgency of our orders. And this woman, this sorcerer, why is she here? I heard she fried 50 of our Magitek armored soldiers in under 3 minutes. Not to worry. The slave crown on her head robs her of all conscious thought. She'll follow orders. We'll approach from the east. Move out! I think in some of the re-releases they actually added in the little chunk sounds for the Magitek armor. I think it's in the PlayStation version. I don't know if it's in the Game Boy Advance version or not. Oh, I love this music. Let's just sit back and listen for a minute. And that mode 7, yo. Oh, that music. Oh, man. Did Nobuo Uematsu outdo himself on that one? And remember, graphics like this hadn't been seen on the Super Nintendo. Let's put her on point. No sense in taking any risks. Forward! Alright, so what we're going to do is... so as you can see, we have question mark. Those of you that have played this before probably know who she is. And we have Wedge and Vix. Now, we can't really equip anything. Well, we have a mithril knife, a buckler, leather hat, and leather armor. I'll show off the status here. So we're level 3. We're 63 out of 63 hit points, 24 out of 24 magic points. The things are fight, magic, and item. We'll get into that when we get into the battles. She has 96 experience points. She needs 112 to level up. So bat power is actual, like, how hard you hit. Okay? Magic power is how hard your magic attack hits. Your defense is your defensive value. It's how hard you are to hit. Your evade percentage, in this game, evades actually work. So you will see at times people will bring up a little shield, or they'll like block with a little like almost like a sword icon, like two swords crossing icon. There's a character in the game who has a dog, who his dog will actually like block the attack and then counter attack. And your magic defense is how hard it is for magic to hit you. Your magic block is, again, just like your evade. It's if you block the magic attack. Your vigor controls your HP. Your speed controls how fast your gauge fills up in the active time battle system. And stamina is used for, like, defense power. I think, actually, stamina might be for HP, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's your stats. There's a new thing here called relics. We don't have any yet. When we get one, I will explain it. There's a small part that I will go into later. When you go here into config, you can actually go down here to controller, and you can see that you can do multiple. And then cursor reset is just, it goes back to the first position every single time. Memory, it stays on whatever you had it on last. So if you've been watching my Let's Play of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest doesn't have a cursor option, but it's always set to memory, which is the last command you put in. When you come back around and it's your turn to input commands again, you actually go in and you input those commands, and it stays on the last command that you put it on. So if you fought, it stays on fight. If you were in magic, it stays on magic, and it stays on the actual spell that you were in magic. The gauge on-off, so if the gauge is on, you'll actually see on the battle screen, you'll see the gauge, and it will actually, it'll show you how fast it fills up. And then if you have it turned off, it will be just like Final Fantasy 2 or 4, where it shows your current HP out of your max HP. And then magic order, I always put it on attack. I always put it on number 4. To have attack first, healing second, and effect magic third. So there's 3 types of magic in this game now. You have attack magic, which is like your offensive, like fire, lightning, bolt, ice, all that stuff. All of those spells are under attack. Healing is your cure, your Esuna, your, all that stuff. And then your effect magic is things like haste, slow, confuse, stop, that kind of stuff is under effect magic now. The window you can actually control now, you can actually change it to be whatever you want it to be, in the weird chocobo birds or whatever. I always like either 6, 4, or 3. I think I'll do 6 for now. Nah, I'll do 3. Why not? And then you can actually change the value of it. You can actually kind of tweak it a little bit if you want. Okay? For the font and the window. Okay? So like the font, you can actually change the color of the font if you wish. I'm going to keep it the default white. Alright, we have 3,000 gold pieces. We've been at this for 6 minutes, and we have taken 0 steps. Well, let me show you something. If we take 1 step forward, it shows that we have now 1 step. It tracks your steps, and I'm not sure exactly how that ties into the actual gameplay. It just doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. So, let's go up and Imperial Magitek armor? Not even Narshe is safe anymore! So this is a little bit different than your normal commands. We have this thing called a Magitek. We have Firebeam, Bolt Beam, Ice Beam, and Heal Force. I'll show you some more that are under the question mark girl. But for right now, that's what we have. So I'll show off the Bolt Beam first. And I'll show off the Ice Beam next. Now she has Fire Beam, Bolt Beam, Ice Beam, Heal Force, but she also has Bioblast, Confuser, Transfer, and X-Missile, or X-Fer, okay? And I'll show those off in a different video, or in a different battle. Sorry, not video. Durr. Vix gained a level, Wedge gained a level. Yay! So as you can see, they are now level 2. So basically, I think you can probably figure out, with this on, we actually can't go in. Machine riding self-important swine! Take this! We get attacked by a dog. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to defend, and I'll show you off. Okay, so then she has... Okay, so this is Bioblast. Confuser just confuses. Transfer actually transfers them to a different dimension. And then Tech Missile is the most powerful tech. And it is awesome. Watch this. This does a lot of damage. Ouch. We won't be seeing that for a long time. The guy's like, run! Yeah. So you can walk around, but you can't actually go into any of the doors in the town yet. And there's a reason for that. Narshe's freedom depends on us. So it's actually really good to when you have multiple enemies. Bioblast. This is actually probably one of the most useful skills in the entire game, because not only does it deal massive damage, but it also poisons the enemy. And this early in the game, it's really going to do a heck of a lot of damage, and it's going to kill people most of the time just outright. So, wouldn't even worry about it. I love how the guards kind of hesitate a little bit. Alright, here's Firebeam. I'm going to use Heal Force on Question Mark Girl, because she got hit pretty darn bad here. And then I will use... well, I'll show off Transfer just for the heck of it. So, this is what Transfer does. And this is an actual spell you'll get later on in the game, too. But that's what it does. I mean, basically, all they've done is they've taken a few... they've taken a few extra magic spells, and they've kind of condensed them into this armor, okay? And as the plot goes along, we'll actually figure that out more. We'll actually see that more as it goes along. So we can't go that way. So I'm just kind of showing you which ways you can and can't go. So we basically are forced to go in one direction. Now, this is something that was brand new to this game, but it's something that they started carrying over into a few of the other Final Fantasy games. Okay? We've got him trapped now. Welcome to the Pincer Attack. And basically, what the Pincer Attack does... Jeez, she is getting just absolutely cremated. But the Pincer Attack basically puts you in the middle. And then there's another attack when we actually get to it. I'll explain what it is. But it's not a big deal right now. I just thought that was funny that the poison gas covered us too, but we're not affected by it. It's like, oh gee, that magic attack? It doesn't affect you. You're fine. Okay, so, Question Mark Girl gained a level. Yay! Ideally, I probably want her to gain one more level, hopefully, before the upcoming boss fight. But we won't be able to fight normal battles until we get into a couple of other places. But this was also something that was kind of new at the time, was being able to walk behind the buildings like this. They did it a little bit in Final Fantasy IV, but it wasn't as much as it is in this one. They kind of were playing around with Final Fantasy V, and they found out that they could do it a lot easier and that game features it more. And then this game, you were able to walk like all around things, so it really felt almost 3D-ish in terms of being that kind of a game. We're facing a new enemy here. This is called the Vomamoth. They're basically like woolly mammoths, and they cast an area thing called Blizzard, and it hurts like heck. They didn't get it off good, because they can cast it and it hurts. Let me tell you something, it really hurts. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I'm really not going to necessarily need it for the actual thing, let me just do this. So as you can see, Question Mark Girl has fire, she has cure. Oh, I thought she had, oh no, that's right, she doesn't get that to the next level. Okay. But I'm just kind of using that. Alright. Here we go. According to our source, the frozen Esper was found in a new mine shaft. Maybe this one. And in we go. Okay, these are were-rats. They're weak to fire, and you definitely don't want to use poison on them, because it actually heals them. For some strange reason, it's really weird. I don't know why. But yeah, I just technically use just Firebeam the whole time. I don't even care. Okay. But yeah, now that we're gaining some good experience points, let me see here. She should level up in about 3 or 4 battles, so that's good. An eerie glow surrounds you. Want info about save points? Sure, why not? At save points, you can use a sleeping bag or tent and also save a game. If you should perish, you'll automatically be able to play from your last save. Though any GP, treasures, etc. you found will have to be found again, your level and EXP data will be retained. You can save a game anywhere on the world map. So these are the save points for this particular game. Okay? And honestly, I mean, if this recording doesn't work or something happens, I can always just come back and do it again. It's not a big deal to hit new game and go play. Alright. Okay. So, what we're going to do is, we're just going to kind of run around here and just kind of, you know, fight some different things and do some different things. Because if we go up here too far, we're going to get to the boss fight. And I'd like her to gain at least one. Now that Repo Man has a ranged style attack. Oh, I forgot to show you one thing in the menu. I'll show you here in a minute. Called a wrench, where he will throw a wrench at you. And sometimes he'll even throw it at you as a counterattack when he dies. Which kind of sucks, because then you have to go outside of battle and you have to go heal yourself. So if you click over, this is your order, and it's also your row. So if I double click, she moves backwards. If I double click again, she comes forward. If I click and then I move her down, she moves. And if I go like that, she goes again. So basically, this is how you order your party. I forgot to show that off, okay? So let's continue going on here. Yeah, if we go up there to that little gate, we'll end up triggering the boss fight, which I don't really want to do right at the moment. I want her to level up, which is going to take a few minutes. So bear with me as I fight here, and we'll just keep going. So yeah, I had a really fun time with this game when I first played it with a friend of mine. We would do things. Here's another one. This is called the Pre-Emptive Attack. So the Pre-Emptive Attack is where you are on the outside doing kind of the Pincer Attack, and the enemies are on the middle. Okay, so a Pincer Attack. So there's still a back attack. There's still back attacks in this. Okay, but there is a relic that you can get later on in the game that prevents back attacks and Pincer attacks on most battles. There are some scripted battles where you have to be forced into either a preemptive back or pincer attack. Okay? Certain battles will do that depending on where you're at in the game. And I'll point those out when we kind of get to them. I know the first part of this game really, really well. It's not until I start getting later on in the game that I'll probably pull out my strategy guide and use it to help find the treasures. But I'm going to make this an actual 100% run in terms of I'm actually going to get the 2 hidden characters in the game later on. That's way late in the game. It's not a big thing to worry about right this minute. Okay? That's that wrench attack that I was talking about. See, he throws it right at the last second and it hits you and it does some damage. Okay? For some odd reason, we keep fighting those guys, and so I'm not leveling up. I got 23, which means if I could fight those stupid... If I could fight another team of were-rats, then I could play... I've got 2 more battles, basically, to level up. I mean, this is just... It's like, grrrg! Kind of sucks. Like I said, bear with me, okay? I'm going as fast as I can. See, here's another pincer attack, okay? And when you get a pincer attack, just like a back attack, the characters will the monsters I should say the monsters get turned first before you do. Even if you have high speed, it really doesn't matter. Okay. All right, one more. Come on. And then I'll heal her. So we can heal in the battle. Because just like the misty dragon in the mist cave in Final Fantasy IV, there is definitely there's definitely there's definitely a pattern to that boss. Ah, yes, she finally gained a level. Woohoo! All right. Let me come back here. Okay. Oh, come on! Seriously! And a pincer attack! Screw you, game. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna heal ourselves. Okay. Because I'll only be able to heal one person with her thing. And you can't heal outside of battle with the Magitek, so you have to... you know, heal in battle. Which is why I healed in battle, because I figured it would just be easier. So... now I can heal her really quick. Okay. No, I don't want to use those just yet. I'm going to use her magic. Okay. So you've probably noticed that there's some grayed out things down here below. So there's another word up above magic. It's called Espers. This is how you learn magic in Final Fantasy VI. AKA Final Fantasy III in the United States for the Super Nintendo. It's similar to, well, let's just say that this was kind of unique, but it's similar to the Materia system and the Draw/Guardian Force system in Final Fantasy VIII. The Esper system, you have certain Espers that will have magical spells, but we won't get the Espers until a little later, okay? Once we finally get some Espers, we'll actually be able to attack and use magic. With that, we'll be able to learn spells. So everybody in the game will be able to learn spells. And some spells are dead useful, other spells are just kind of there, and certain Espers have no use at all, while other Espers are dead useful. Okay? And then, of course, magic is magic. Okay? I went over that. The sword tech is a character... he uses it, and he has a little gauge, and he's got the numbers 1 through 8. And you have to wait for that gauge to fill up to the number that you want to use before you can use it. And as you level up, as you put more speedy relics on the guy, he will actually use... his gauge will actually fill faster. Blitz attacks are almost like Zell's limit break in Final Fantasy VIII. If you've ever played Final Fantasy VIII, where you have to input a series of button commands to do it. And when we finally get the character that has the Blitz technique, I'll explain it. Lore is blue magic. So is Rage. But actually, Lore is just a specific spell. Okay? And you can only learn it by having it done to the character, or I think he studies the character and he learns it or something like that. I'll have to look at it. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Rage is one character, and he's in a specific part of the world, and what he does is he leaps on the backs of monsters, and the more monsters you fight, the different varieties, the more monster attacks he learns. And what happens is he almost goes berserker. Well, he does go berserker. He kind of casts his own... It's like, basically he becomes that monster for the battle. So if you choose a certain monster, say the gobbledygook monster, the guy who throws the wrenches, if you're that guy, then he'll throw the wrenches and he'll punch attack and he'll do those kind of things. That's what the Rage is for. And when we get him in our party, I'll explain it. Dance is another character that we're going to see very, very soon. Okay? In fact, it's probably not going to be this video. It'll probably be the next video. But basically, this dance is... He does a dance, and then certain attacks happen. And just like the Rage, it's almost like he just does these attacks automatically. Now, there are certain things of when he's doing a dance in a place that's not conducive to where he's at, he will trip and fall at times. So the attacks will fail at times. So, like, if you're out in grasslands and you try to do a cave dance, he might trip and fall, or he might actually get to do the dance. And I'll explain that more when we actually finally get the character. Okay? So now that we've... Oh, wait a minute. Let me save. Let me save. Okay. Now, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit this gate. I'll handle this. Stand back. We won't hand over the Esper. Welk, get them. Sorry, this is my favorite boss battle music of all time. Hold it! Think back to our briefing. What about it? Do you recall hearing about a monster that eats lightning? And stores the energy in its shell? Right, so whatever you do, don't attack the shell! Alright already! Heed. Okay, so... basically, don't use Bolt Beam at all. That's a slow attack. But, do Tech Missile. Because that will hit him for like 400 damage. You see? Okay, now, he's hiding. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to defend. We're going to defend. We're going to defend. We're just going to sit. Don't do anything. Because if you attack the shell, he counterattacks with a very, very powerful attack. And you do not want that to happen. You will die. When you hear that, when you see that, that's when you can come back and start hitting him. I love this boss battle theme. It's so good. Bam! Get him! And you will never get any experience points from bosses. You will only get items and gold. This is the frozen Esper. This is the Esper Tritouch. Hey, what's the matter? Do you know something we don't? The frozen creature began emitting an eerie light. Where's the light coming from? Whoa! Hey, Wedge, where are you? What's happening? Kaboom. Where am I? Whoa, and I only just removed the crown. Head hurts. Easy. This is a slave crown. The others had complete control over you while you were wearing it. I can't remember a thing. Don't worry, it'll all come back to you. In time, that is. A mysterious young woman, controlled by the Empire and born with the gift of magic. I'm not going to have them all caps. I'm actually going to put them into that. So if you want to, you just press B on the controller, or if you're playing, I think, on most other versions, I think on the Game Boy Advance version, I think you still press B. But unlike the PlayStation version, I think they moved everything down to the X button, which is the bottom button, so you'll probably end up pressing the circle button. But anyway, you just go back. You can actually name them whatever you want, but we're gonna name her the default, which is Terra. My name is Terra. Impressive. I've never heard of anyone recovering this fast. Open up! Give us back the girl and the Empire's Magitek armor! Open this door! We want that girl! She's an officer of the Empire! Empire? Magitek armor? Look, I have to get you out of here. I don't have time to explain. Over here. So if we run over here, though, and we talk to this clock, we will get an elixir. Almost every single clock in the game will have some kind of a function, either giving you an impressive item or opening the way to something. Make your way out through the mines. I'll keep these brutes occupied. There we go. So, we're almost coming to an end of the first video here. She's up there! So there's really no place we can go. Like, we're really kind of stuck on a path right now. There's no other places we can be. Oh yeah, sorry, it was the Repo Man, not the Gobbledygook. Those are later. But anyway, but yeah. So like if you had the Repo Man, he throws the wrenches, and that's kind of, you know, what you would end up doing. So what I'm going to try to do is gain at least one more level. What I might do is do that off screen really fast and then come back in the next episode. So I'm almost to the save point. Now what's really cool is if you press L on the controller instead of in Final Fantasy IV, normally when you're doing this you would press like left like 3 times. So it would go to the front enemy, you would press left, it would go to the back enemy, and then you press left again and it would do this. In this game you have to press L or R to target all of your characters with magic attacks. And some enemies will stay on screen like that before disappearing. I'm not sure why Square did that. It's really strange. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. It's very strange. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it here. And I will go ahead and make a safety save. And I'm going to go ahead and call that an episode. So thank you for watching. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe and drop a comment. Let me know if you've played this game. Let me know some of your experiences in playing the game, because I know that I've had a lot of fun playing this game over the years. And even though it's not my absolute favorite Final Fantasy, it's still up there in terms of being a very, very good game. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.